Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we close out this show as we near next week's 19th anniversary show. Going to have a lot of special guests on next week's show. A lot of our co-hosts will be calling in, including Ron Wong and John Gordon, who are our co-hosts this week. And really looking forward to this final segment on today's show. It's hard to believe, and I know John and Ron will believe this, that there's a reason we call this the fastest 90 minutes in outdoor radio programming, because you guys, it's hard to believe we're down to the last segment. We sound like we just sat down. I don't know.
It really does.
And John, I know you've been listening in and talking too, so thank you guys both for helping out. But this guy coming up right now, you know, we don't want to talk about age. You know, everybody knows. We had a fellow from West Tennessee on here recently that was about my age, which everybody knows that I'm 77. It'll be 11 years before I match my numbers again. I told my granddaughter. She couldn't figure that out, but she finally did. Hey, when Ron said, let's talk to Tom Monsoor, let's get him on the air. He won the Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit Super Tournament. And we'll go ahead and say Tom is 71, unless he's had a birthday since this happened. And we're really tickled to have Tom. Good morning to you, buddy. How you doing?
Good morning to you guys too. I'm doing great. I couldn't be any happier.
Well, let's talk. And Ron or John may ask you a technical question. I'll just ask you something off the wall. I tell everybody this is not Larry King Live. It's Larry Ray Dead. And so this is the way it sets up here. But talk about that victory. You've been at this a long time. A lot of folks know, man, you are Mr. Swim Jig Technique. I understand. You've been doing this a long time. How did it feel to get that win? Because I know there must have been a lot of whippersnappers in there, you know. So.
Oh, my God. Jacob Wheeler was second.
I know it, and we've got Jacob on this show. And I thought about calling him and see if he wanted to talk. But I said, no, we better get Tom on first. But
Jacob's a good guy. I just got a picture sent to me of him bowing down to me holding up the last fish, and I put it on my Facebook page.
Ooh, I got to look at that one up. Y'all hear that out there?
Social media.
Yeah, let's everybody be sure.
All over social media.
Go to Tom's Facebook page. That's Monsoor. But talk about it. Yeah, talk about it, Tom.
And the first picture you'll see is Jacob bowing down with his hands out to me holding up my last fish. And I knew, now Chris Myers, wanted me to lift two fish, and I couldn't because they were just wild.
Yes.
And I lifted up the fourth one, and he still jumped out of my hand.
He did.
On Chris. And so anyway, we put the fourth fish on the scale, and it was 9 something. I don't even remember what he said after 9, because I knew when he said 9.
That was it.
I won.
I
won.
Yes.
Because I had a 3-pounder smallmouth in the bag, and I only needed 10-14, so I knew I was over winning. It didn't matter what 9 something was, so I was happier than heck right then and there.
54 pounds, 10 ounces, 12-pound, 10 ounce on that last day. Turned back the young whippersnapper, Jacob Wheeler, and wins $125,000. Tom, talk about that money, and also I'm sure when you were young and fishing, the dreams were there. A lot of you guys started with fruit jar tournaments and were glad to win $75. So talk about that, where it starts.
I remember the first $2,000 check I got back in 1986.
Really?
My first win.
Yes. Okay.
That was big. I mean, that was huge.
That was big back then. That was a lot of money.
So talk about this. What does it mean to you?
Oh, my God. I tell you what, this is my second win in 2 years now.
Yes.
And I'm the oldest guy to win.
Yes,
twice.
you are.
I broke my own record.
Yes.
And I made the Millionaires Club by 1,100,000 and some thousand, which is really cool because I've been trying to break that $1 million. It seemed like forever,
Yeah.
And I needed 30,000 more, and I did it with 125. So that was good.
Wow.
But, I've been second, third, fourth, fifth. I've lost by an ounce for first.
An ounce.
So
yeah.
An ounce, $300,000 by an ounce.
By an ounce.
Bill Taylor looked at me and said, "You know what a thimble of water weighs, Tom?"
Oh no.
An ounce.
An ounce. drill it into you, but at the same time, undoubtedly that competitive edge, Tom, is still there. That makes you want to do this.
Yeah, I've always had that. I was a state champion wrestler, and I've always been competitive. And when I found out you could go catch bass and make money and have fun,
yes,
I was in. I was all in. And when I won the first tournament 2 years ago out in the Potomac River,
yes.
I looked at Chris Jones and I said, "Chris, I can die now."
Well, we don't
Yes,
want that
you
to
did.
happen. We don't want
I
that.
remember seeing that.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen because that was. I think you broke the record then, so you've broken your own record. As being the oldest, and then to do this was redemption. I think you said because your home waters. That even made it. Being lacrosse.
That's added pressure.
Yeah, that had to be goosebumps types for you.
That's the most important one I could win because now I've got the respect of everyone that lives around me.
Yes.
That you have no idea what that means. Anywhere I go now at home, they know, that really means a lot. I mean, that means so much. It's unreal.
A lot of people in this area, Tom, in the Mid-South area, are aware of your name of Tom Monsoor because your jigs that you have worked on for so many years.
Yes, yeah.
A swim jig,
a
finesse jig. You are the finesse jig man as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They were sold in Bass Pro Shops here. But tell our listeners the kind of swim jig and the jigs that you use there to win this tournament because it's summertime. Why would you be throwing a jig?
Yeah, that's somebody asked me about that. What about that, Tom?
Well, I can use a jig for any situation. It doesn't matter. I can replace just about any lure you can think of with a jig. I've got an 1/8 ounce jig I use as a frog and a topwater, believe it or not, a swim jig.
Oh, God.
And most people would have no clue.
No clue.
And I've won a lot of tournaments doing that because it's so light.
Yeah.
It comes through the lily pads and on top of the weeds like a frog, like you wouldn't believe. And they eat it. And if they miss it, you can drop it, and then they just annihilate it. It's the neatest thing in the world. We didn't see none of that on this tournament on TV, though.
No, we haven't.
This tournament was basically my Bitsy Bug. I make everything: Bitsy Bugs, football heads, swim jigs.
Amazing.
And my swim jig caught me a 3.5 and a 2.5 on the second day when I had my biggest stringer, 14.8. And I tell you what, that swim jig, they start coming up. And as soon as they start coming up, if you don't throw a white swim jig in there right away, I mean, you better drop everything you got, especially in a tournament, and throw that white swim jig in there because they're going to just, all you'll feel is boom, and they got it.
And you were throwing them all on a loose rod and reel, right?
Oh, I tell you what, I love that.
Here, Ron. Ron Wong, I beat you on that, Ron. I got that in there for you, did Ron. Come on, I was waiting on you, Ron. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, I know Tom's a big
I love my
guy.
lose. I am not kidding one bit. I've got St. Croix, the most expensive St. Croix, G. Loomis.
Yes.
I use one thing, lose rods and reels, because they are the most sensitive, lightest. I'm getting old. The lighter, the better.
Hey, Ron.
I really appreciate a light rod, and lose has done it all for me. I can't say enough about what I think of my lose rods and reels.
Well, we're loose people down here, as Ron will tell you that. And I was just going through all this stuff and noticed.
Gary Yamamoto is real good to you too, Tom, and Gary's a good guy.
Gary and Beverly are the two greatest people. I tell you what, I tried to get with Yamamoto for years and years and years when I was young.
Yes.
And finally, after I won enough tournaments, they called me and I got on with them. And then I got to be really good friends with Gary and Beverly, and I visit them and they visit me. And it's, like Jimmy Houston, Gary, Larry Nixon. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the neatest thing in the world to be old with these guys. And they all call me, you know, they're just as excited as I am, but they're telling me I'm driving them nuts, you know, because it was so tight. I'm really lucky. I got some great fishing friends.
Well, you don't know how happy we are to have you on the radio show.
No,
because we've had all of your guys who you just mentioned before, and
yes, we have.
What a thrill it is to have you, Tom, and we certainly
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Tell you what, it was really neat to see Jacob, who's won everything in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid is on. I met him the first tournament he ever fished, FLW, after he won the All-American. He came up to my table, the first meeting, the first FLW event, and said, "Can I sit here?" And I looked at him and said, "Sure." He sat down with his family, his mother, and look what that boy has done.
Look what he's done.
Everything.
Yeah.
Nobody has done what he's done. The number one ranked guy in the world. And when that picture on the internet I've got
is
so cool, you know, but I give him that same respect.
Well, that's what it is.
You know,
he
came up to me after the third day, and I said, "Jacob, it's just awesome what you've done."
Yeah.
And he smiled humbly.
Well, he is that way, and he's been on this show several times. Again, we're talking to Tom Monsoor. And, Tom, a lot of people ask me, when am I going to quit this? I've been doing this a long time here in Memphis. And
Never.
And I can't imagine we got just a minute or two, the physical condition that you got to be in at our age to stay active. And, man, my hat's off to you, and I don't even wear a hat. So I'm just telling you that.
I hear you. I don't stop daylight till dark. I make more casts than the young guys. I don't eat. I don't do anything.
It's amazing.
Scott Martin came up and filmed the challenge with me and my girlfriend and him and the best guy in lacrosse.
Yeah.
And we beat him. And the guy that was filming said he's never seen two old people or any young people fish as hard as we did.
There's no doubt.
Now that was
a
compliment. He's filmed a lot of young guys in the Scott Martin challenges, and he said nobody ever fished as hard or as long as we did.
Well,
so that was really neat.
Well, I think what you've done and what you're going to do. Okay, we're going to say what you're going to do.
I'm not done.
No, and we're not done with you either, Tom. We got your number now.
Anytime.
We got your number
Anytime.
now. We have fun down here in Memphis. You got a lot of fans down here for sure with the Lose connection and everything. Congratulations. Congratulations, buddy, and have a great weekend, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Tom.
All right, Tom Monsoor. Let me tell you about next week's show again. Quickly, it's the 19th anniversary show. You're going to hear from all of our co-hosts. It might even get Shelby McCall to actually talk. And I'm going to try to get her to bring her trumpet to play taps. Maybe next week. No, Reveille would be better. Maybe we can get her. Can you bring your trumpet in next week? Sure. Okay, we're going to have that. We're going to have a concert next week with Shelby McCall because she's very talented. John, thank you, buddy. Get moved in down there and everything. And Ron, go catch a fish, I'd suggest. And next time we'll be on. We'll talk football again. Okay. So
sounds good.
My team is tied with y'all right now, okay? So you understand that?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we hadn't played a game yet. Okay. All right. This is Larry Ray reminding you every week it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else? God bless the USA.